Hello.
Hello.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you, dear.
Happy New Year to our listeners, too.
Hey, I'm Paul F. Tompkins.
I'm Janie Haddad Tompkins.
I'm a comedian.
I'm an actress.
We are a married couple.
We have this podcast we're doing together in quarantine in Los Angeles.
It's called Stayfhomekins, and there you go.
You're all caught up.
You're all caught up. We have a cuckoo clock. Sometimes you'll hear it.
I got a glass of weekend water.
As do I.
It's the New Year. It's New Year's Day. It's
Yes.
New Year's Day.
All is quiet.
And it's Friday.
Friday.
Oh, no.
Remember?
Why'd you do it?
Hey, man, it's a great...
It's a great song.
It slaps. Rebecca Black. Where you been?
I think I'm making this up, but I think I read like she went like on to get like a degree in quantum physics or something. Am I wrong?
I don't know.
Or
I never heard that personally. I hope it's true.
Like she didn't like stick it out in the.
Well, wasn't that song was just kind of like a, wasn't it like a...
it was like a vanity project or something.
One of those make your own record sort of
her
things.
parents paid for or something.
Yeah.
But how did it go viral though?
Because it's not good. Because it's such a dumb song.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess so. But like, how did people get eyes on it is my point. Like, you still had to know it about it.
I think that she must have had a backstabber in her midst, just like Melania Trump, our FLOTUS.
Do you think Melania will be okay?
God, I hope so. Listen, if you have a friend, make sure you're recording all your phone conversations because they might come in handy at some point. You know what?
Honestly, I applaud... what's her name? Stephanie Winston, or that read the. I applaud. You know what? Somebody fucked someone over first, and it wasn't.
That's
right. Stephanie girl.
And Stephanie was
read the book.
I will continue to work with this person, but I will record all of the conversations.
Well, she was owed like $1 million or something.
I hope,
and approached by like the DOJ. I don't know. Like she had to cover her ass.
I hope and pray that in this new year, we're not constantly hearing about the Trumps.
Oh, by the way,
I feel like they're going to try to make it happen though. The media.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Really?
I don't think they're going to move on. I don't think so. I think they're going to try to. I think they will have to wait until people just do not watch it anymore.
You just ruined my.
No, I'm sorry.
My whole thing.
What was your whole thing? What do you mean?
I don't say his name. I don't even write his name online. I have blocked all of the family. I don't like. He stopped doing.
Wait, how did I ruin it?
Because you said like it's never ending. Like essentially, what you're saying is like. January 20th is not over.
It will end. I don't think it's going to be over on January 20th, but it will end. But I think that...
Oh, it's over on January. It's over.
What are we talking about now?
I'm talking about like, okay, so right now, they have to cover him.
Yes.
They have to.
Yes. Because
of like, it's the office of the presidency.
Yeah.
Right?
But yes. Yeah.
So fine, it can be in People or Us or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like I'm fine with that, but I don't want to hear like, and also like January 21st, the onslaught of legal hell that is about to rain down on that family.
I mean, I hope so.
Is going to be thorny and deep.
I hope so. I hope it's both.
And I don't even look. He might not end up in jail. It just it's just not going to be simple. Because even before, and I was telling you this the other day, even before he was, elected by a minority through the quirk in the Electoral College in 2016, he was involved in like there was like the Trump University and like the stakes and the whatever and like he's been accused of rape by a woman that has like DNA and like evidence and stuff. So like it's not over for him in terms, like once he's a private citizen,
well, hopefully
it'll be different.
I hope so. But the only thing I was saying was that they're not going to stop the media will not stop talking about him after he's out of office.
But it will be different. Don't you think it'll be like different media outlets? Like it won't be like.
No, I don't.
Oh, yeah?
I think it'll be the same cable news,
Ew.
all that.
God.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Anyway.
Bad move.
I agree. Let's change the subject, and I'm sorry that I got us there. It's a new year. We're starting a new season.
We're in a new season. It's our season 2, and I'm calling this the 2021 season.
That's right. Hopefully the final season.
The only...
of planet Earth. No, that's too far.
We changed it to season 2. It was sort of like... We're just marking it by the calendar. It's not like there was a certain number of episodes or we took a break or anything like that. It's more like the calendar turned a page. And so Stayfhomekins, the podcast, turned a page. We're turning a symbolic page.
That's right.
With our calendar.
That's right.
So here we are, episode 1 of season 2. Hopefully we have some new listeners. If you're new to us, lower your expectations.
This is the show.
Got my weekend one.
If you're wondering when we get into our various departments and stuff, we don't.
We keep it loose.
As a goose.
We keep it free form. We keep it loose as
a goose, perhaps?
Tom Cruise's first officer.
That's right.
Flash. Who was he? Zing.
Goose. What are you talking about?
Didn't Tom Cruise have a name?
Maverick.
Mav.
Flash or Zing? Zing. Zing. He's on your 6.
You know they're making a sequel to that movie. Like, I might even be done.
Oh, I remember hearing about that.
Aren't they like, I think they're, yeah. Wow. People got really mad that Tom Cruise, did we talk about that on the podcast? I can't remember because.
No, I don't think we did.
We did an episode a week ago on Christmas Day. That feels like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
It literally feels like 10 years ago.
I'm very tired.
Paul's very tired. He's having like, sort of like having to work himself up to
I'm giving it
stay
all
awake.
I got. I'm giving it all I got. It's not even so much that I'm sleepy, just that I don't know, like I'm tired in my soul. I don't know. Maybe it's a year in review kind of thing.
Oh God, don't review don't.
Also, it was sad because I started taking down the Christmas decorations today.
Oh, Paul's having existential Christmas grief.
It's true.
I'm
having Christmas grief.
See, I feel a little more like to everything turn about it because if it were like a permanent fixture in our lives. What?
Yeah, I don't want it to be.
I just feel like it would be less.
Yeah, I agree. It would be less special.
Unique. Yeah.
If it was up in, June. But that's not. It's of course to everything there is a season. Turn. Time to gather stones. Time to cast stones away.
Uh-huh.
But I think it's still, you can still mourn that turning.
Yes.
And that's what today was. So I took down most of it.
Yeah, you worked your ass off.
It was all day. It always takes longer to put the stuff back, put it away than it does to take it out. And I still have to do the tree and the front of the house.
Yeah, that tree died a week ago.
I don't think a week ago.
Because, remember, I was like, oh, it needs water. And then you filled it up and the water hasn't moved.
That was just a few days ago, though.
That was sad.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, it's drinking so much water. And, we put more in and it was like, now it's just full. It's just full.
But it made it to the end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It lasted as long as we needed to last. It was a good tree.
It was a good tree. Fraser fir, y'all. Fraser fir.
This was a thing that happened that really bummed me out. I was like, we had a big thunderstorm a few nights ago, and it was great. A lot of rain, A lot of thunder and lightning, which we
needed
don't often
rain
get here.
We needed it.
But then the next day, Christmas lights didn't work.
Yeah, they got waterlogged or something.
Yeah.
Maybe blew out a fuse or something. I don't know what happened.
So, it's just dark. The front of the house is just dark. Candy Cane Lane is not lit up.
Candy Cane Lane. But it lasted through Christmas.
It's supposed to last until you unplug it.
True.
But
I mean, of all the times that it was going to happen, at least it happened.
At least it made it through Christmas Day.
Yes.
But it is a bummer that it couldn't make it till the end.
Well,
and that for the past 3 nights, we've just had darkness out there.
Just like a black hole of
bullshit. You can say it. It's a black hole of bullshit.
Oh, so today I've been waiting to tell you because it was this joyful thing.
You or the listener?
Both. Well, I had to wait to tell the listener because it happened today.
Sure.
So it was a really pretty day in Los Angeles. So I was like, I'm going to take a walk because every year, my New Year's resolution, I'm like, I'm going to be more active. Because let's be honest, I'm a lump. I'm a sloth. I'm not.
No.
I am not. I mean, yes, I have crazy bursts of energy, but athleticism is not my go-to. Mm-hmm. I'm not oh my God, I can't wait to run 5. I have those friends that are I ran 5 miles today, and I'm just wow, go suck it.
Go suck it.
Or they're I did push-ups, or I lifted weights, or, I did things, or I did that, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And, I'm lucky if, I get up to get my own glass of water.
I'm lucky if that happens.
Because I'll time it. I might time it and be like, oh my God, you're up. Can you totally bring me a glass of water? Anyway, so I was I took a walk. So I'm walking down the street in our neighborhood, and I decided to go up this street over here. Mm-hmm. And because sometimes I turn and go over that bridge.
For everything there's a season.
But I was there are people. I wanted to stay distant, whatever. So this man was coming out of his front door of his house, mm-hmm. and he was 75. Maybe I'm guessing between 75 and 80. Maybe, mm-hmm. And he has on a hat, and he is unfurling his American flag, I guess, I don't know if he's replacing his New Year's flag or, whatever, or whatever. So he's unfurling his American flag to put it up, and I'm walking by on the sidewalk, and he waves, he's smiling and waving, and he's Happy New Year. And I was hey, Happy New Year. And then he goes, we made it. I was we did. We fucking did. We made it.
That's lovely.
And then I was I almost started crying,
mm-hmm.
Tears came to my eyes because mm-hmm. it was such a spontaneous, joyful moment. Yeah. And I had never really seen that little fella. I mean, I think I've seen an older man on that street. This was up near the main business street, mm-hmm. so it was more up there.
Right.
And I will, because sometimes I turn off, but I was oh, I love him. And if it were not COVID, I would have maybe stopped to be a little more sociable, mm-hmm. But it wasn't. It's not really a good.
Yes.
Thing to do.
But that's very sweet.
So I wanted to let you know that.
I'm glad that you had that experience. It's a lovely human connection.
Maybe you, if you take a walk in the neighborhood, you will have an experience.
What if I have the opposite?
Like someone's like, this fucking sucks. 2021 sucks.
A baby comes out and says, fuck you.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. Well, anyway. So another thing that's going on is like Los Angeles is in COVID hell.
Yeah.
It's in COVID hell. Mm-hmm. The new virulent, more infectious strain from B114 or whatever the fuck you call it from England, or at least it was discovered first in England, is here. Mm-hmm. It has been discovered here. Not surprising, considering there are no ICU beds. They're running out of oxygen. We're going like a state of emergency for oxygen. Governor Newsom had to order new body bags. Not enough refrigeration. More deaths. Every day is like a death like record. Okay. Mm-hmm. Where it's like it's breaking, you know, and it's ambulances, some of them having to wait 8 hours to offload patients. Where sometimes they're denying taking patients, like depending on the issue, you know? Mm-hmm. Setting up patients in gift shops of hospitals, and our frontline health workers are burnt out. Yeah. Like they're understaffed, overworked. They are the ones dealing with this issue. Mm-hmm. Now that I've set that up.
Here's where it gets funny.
Now that I've set that up. Film production is still happening. Okay. So on Christmas Day, this is like a strange thing. And I'm going to change every detail about it because I also signed an NDA. Guys, I will keep your secret though. I will. Guess what? I have to... it's easy to keep it because I don't even know really what I was auditioning for. So the joke's really on me.
I was overhearing the audition. I was in the other room and I couldn't get a sense of what it was.
You were like losing your mind. You were like, what is going on? I'm like a 2-second, literally like a 2-second commercial thing. So I was like, okay, so on Christmas Day, I get this like, oh, you have a commercial audition on Monday. And I'm like, Jesus. First of all, it's Christmas. Okay. Mm-hmm. Second of all, why? They are begging citizens in Los Angeles to stay home if they can, and like to put a pin in things that can be done later.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, whatever. And I'm just kind of like, okay. And I'm just like, I'm on autopilot, I think, at this point. So I sign my NDA. I do my first audition on whenever. Well, of course, then I get a call back. And now I'm like faced with, not of course I get a call back. Like that was, I mean.
I think everyone knew how you meant it.
I mean, as expected.
I think people understood.
I was a selection by the producer.
Of course they want me for it.
I mean, so of course I get a call back. And what I mean is now I'm faced with like the reality of like, oh, am I going to do this? Am I really going to do this? Like if I do book the thing, like, am I going to now contribute to... Possibly. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know, I don't know. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't like the idea of it, but I also there's a weird disconnect happening in my mind about it because it's like, well, they must think it's safe. Why would they risk? I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, I'm literally like, like I want to add to my pension. I want to keep my, you know, whatever. Like I want to.
Well, here's the thing is that we work in this weird, unsecure industry where unless, you know, there's very few people in show business that are like set You know what I mean?
Right.
If you get on a
Series.
hugely popular series,
Network series or something
that runs for a long time, like you're in great shape, you know?
Right.
But if you don't and you're just going gig to gig,
You're freelance.
And it's like, what I wish they would do is take it out of our hands so we don't have to make the decision.
I mean, personally, if I were this company, and I don't even know what company it is, even though I signed the NDA, like, I didn't read it, okay?
It's Blackwater.
If I
There,
were
I'll
the
say it. It's a commercial for Blackwater.
I would not do this. Like, I would just be like, it's not worth it. Or I might shoot it. I don't know where things are going in the rest of the country. Like, maybe, in Atlanta or something. I don't know. I don't know what's going on over on the other side. I just know that Los Angeles, they are like desperately pleading for people to not go out.
I know,
they're begging. They're begging it.
Yes, but in the meantime, what the city is doing is strongly advising film production to think about
I think it's stupid.
pausing. And it's like, well, you have the power to stop it.
Just say, don't do this right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure the doctors on the front line, the nurses, they would be like, this might be a good thing to do this.
Absolutely. And also, I don't think all of our COVID woes are because of production.
No, but it's not the point.
It's not helping.
I feel like that's not even the point. Like, so what? So, okay, so say that has been safe, because there have been, and this is what the devil's advocate side says, because I follow a lot of like entertainment industry Twitter.
Yeah.
They're like, we've been doing it safely for months. Mm-hmm. So, whatever. Now, I happen to know, because I'm like more journeyman middle class person in this industry, that it varies from production to production.
Yes, exactly.
How safe it is.
It's
who's
not
following.
uniform. It's not uniform.
And let's just say it doesn't contribute in general. Mm-hmm. What if the one time there's a super spreader event on a set, it's this thing?
Yeah.
They tried everything that they could, but we're dealing with this new, more infectious strain now from England that's definitely here.
Yeah.
What if it is? Now, you may not have intended to contribute to the overflooding and the spread and the problems and everything, but now you have. Mm-hmm. Because even if there's a super spreader event on the set and everyone's like, well, there's no one with any underlying conditions, and it's like, you don't know who they live with. You don't know who they see. Mm-hmm. You just don't know.
They might be eating bats every day.
I'm saying they might have an elderly...
Yes, I understand.
Okay. I'm just saying, like...
I'm just trying to inject a joke in here every once in a while.
You should, because this one needs it. This one needs it. Okay. So now, anyway, so here I am, like, okay, I'll do my callback, and now I'm like in autopilot mode where I'm overriding all of these second thoughts I'm having, right? But I'm like, well, what else am I doing? Like, I'm home. I don't know. Like literally, it's like the weirdest things are going through my mind. I'm like, I have nothing on my plate today. Mm-hmm. If I do this online streaming callback, I will at least have interaction with like 5 strangers. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where, like, I'm literally like in this weird twilight zone of like life where I don't know what I'm doing, and listener, don't worry.
Gentle listener.
I did not book this job, so I don't have to think about it. But I have to tell you the craziest experience I had.
What?
Did you just hear a woman's voice go, mm-hmm?
No, you sure it wasn't me?
You don't have a woman's voice.
I did not hear that, no.
Alexa, did you talk?
Yes, I can talk. In fact, I'm talking right now.
Yeah, that's not what I asked.
I didn't hear anything.
I heard a woman's voice go, mm-hmm. God.
I believe you. But you heard it from over there. You looked over there.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you think it was Alexa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I tell you what. Keep an eye on her and we'll just keep going.
Gosh. Gotta get to my audition story. It's the only thing that's happened to me in weeks. The only interesting thing that's happened to me
I'll tell you something that happened to me very recently that was interesting is you just freaked the fuck out of me.
Just now?
Yes.
Wait, now?
Yes!
What do you mean?
When your face went white, you looked over my shoulder and you gasped.
I heard a person.
I know. I get that now.
Fine.
Oh my God.
Anyway.
That's terrifying. I didn't even hear it.
So something that happens in commercials. This is the thing I wanted to talk about. Something that happens in commercials. Something that happens a lot is, and I don't understand why it happens, and I don't understand. Yeah, I know you don't sound like that was not what it sounded like. Something that happens, I don't understand why it happens, but it's so consistent, like almost like the moon, the cycles of the moon. Where they like act like you know things.
Right.
They act like you know, and they'll be like, so, the director Samuel Johnson, and you know how he is. And it'll be like, I don't, like, Samuel Johnson, like, I've never met him. I don't know what he looks like. If I bumped into him in a crowd, he's cuckoo. I know that's cuckoo, because I can hear it.
What if Cuckoo came out and was going,
Then I would fucking lose my mind. I would lose my mind.
Cuckoo, did you hear that woman's voice?
Yes, Cuckoo heard it. So, like, they come out and they're like, well, here's what they want you to do. They want you to have this reaction and that reaction. And, because it's Samuel Johnson, it's got to be really subtle. Because, like...
You know how he is.
Because it's Samuel Johnson. And it's like... And my whole thing with everything is to make things easier. Mm-hmm. Like, I can't, like, I have to just get through everything. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just, like, how I am in life. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, Samuel. Totally. Yes. Of course. Yes. Samuel. Like, I totally know what you mean. Mm-hmm. Also because, like, just, like, because I've been on maybe thousands of these. Like, they always over-explain everything.
Yes,
to the
I
point,
can attest to that.
To the point where I'm like, I never listen to that. Like, I know, like, my tactic and technique personally is, like, and when I say don't listen to the explanation, like, I listen to it. That's not what I mean. What I mean is I totally disregard it. like they'll explain it, like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that. And then I'm like, yeah, okay. Like, I'm just going to, like, do about 10% of what you just said. Mm-hmm. Just as, like, my thing.
Right.
And so I get to the callback, and they're like, okay, it's Samuel Johnson, and so you know how he is, and, like, he wants it this way. And you also know, I know you know, that he's driving in his car with their cat. like, what? Oh, yeah, of course. Like, why wouldn't he be? And when I say he's driving, he's not driving. Someone is driving. He's riding.
He's in the passenger seat.
He's in the passenger seat.
But in a moving vehicle as this session is going on.
And the reason they're explaining that is like, if the sound cuts out and you don't hear the direction, speak up and ask again and I'll find out, blah, blah, blah. And they're trying to be so nice and everything. And I'm like, okay. So now I'm like, okay, does Samuel Johnson, like, is he coming to Los Angeles? Like, is he coming to COVID Central for this? Like, is he, like, I don't know what's going on. Why is the cat, like, does he live? I don't know where he lives. I don't know why he'd be conducting these callback sessions from the passenger side. I don't know anything. And I'm acting like I do.
Yeah.
Because, like, at this point,
what else can you do?
Also, I'm, like, standing there for 45 fucking minutes waiting for this Blue Jeans to start. And so I'm just like, just fucking let's do it. Like, let's do it. Like, bring me Samuel, whatever. So, like, they click over into the callback room, and I immediately hear, meow. And I'm like, okay, so this was not a metaphor. This is not a metaphor.
It was so loud. That cat was so loud.
So I'm like, okay. So I'm doing all the paces where they're like, I just handed you a coffee. I just pretend this happened or pretend, I'm doing all my dumb reactions. And then they're like really directing me down. And this is for like an upcoming big yearly sporting event where there's fancy commercials. So, that happens in the winter. Yeah. So I guess that's why they're like doing it. Don't know why they're doing it in COVID Central, whatever. So then, and it's technically horrible. Like they're like, Janie, sometimes your sound is dropping out. Like, yeah, like things are, whatever. And I'm like, what can I do? Like nothing's bad on my end. Like I can see everything smoothly, but they were having.
I did hear somebody else speak up and say, I think it's you. And then the guy was like, it's not me.
He did say that.
Yeah, there's another actor that said,
the guy running
she
the
seems
session.
fine to me. Yeah.
No, Samuel Johnson said that. And then the guy running the session said,
really?
It's not. It's not.
He should know how Samuel Johnson is.
So then I do my thing, and there's like silence for a second. And then Samuel Johnson comes back on the horn and said, yeah, I'm sorry. So this is what just happened. Our cat just shit in its carrier, and so we've had to roll the windows down. And that's why it's really loud. I've had a lot of things, a lot of reactions to my acting before, but that was like a first. And so I was like,
you think you made the cat do that?
I think the cat was like, what the fuck? And expelled its bowels. And then it was over and I was like, well, that's not going to happen. And frankly, I'm relieved. Because I don't want to be on a set with no mask with other people with the new, more contagious. I mean, I do want to shill for some giant corporate overlord.
Sure. You want to be seen by the sports fans.
I mean, I do want to shill for some, whatever company contributes to our climate crisis.
Right.
However, this time around.
Yeah.
I guess I'm sitting this one out. I'm on the bench.
To further the sports metaphor. Perfect. All right, we're going to take a little break.
Are we going to refresh our weekend with her?
Yeah, probably. We'll be right back. We don't have an ad.
We don't have an ad this week.
So imagine there's an ad.
Yeah, we're back. See, Paul's making fun of me.
I'm not. No, I'm not making fun of you.
You're
How is that making
fun of the
you?
ghost.
I make fun of ghosts all the time. I don't give a shit. Hey, ghosts, you're stupid to me.
Don't anger the ghosts.
What?
They're going to come after me.
Let me say this.
They're not going to come after you.
Why would they not come after me?
Because I have the second
sight.
sight. I have the second sight. I'm the one that heard the you didn't hear
That's your second sight?
Yes.
It sounds like a very positive ghost.
What is the second sight that you get to like see ghosts? Is like from The Shining when you had the shine.
I think the second
shine.
sight is like a very it's a broad term for like sort of psychic abilities.
Okay, so
like you could see the future, or you could see supernatural things, or
right. I have that because I heard the. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Any other examples? Because this is the first that I'm hearing of it.
What about when I always think there's been an earthquake?
That is true. Janie, when she falls asleep, for some reason, it happens so often.
Earthquakes wake me up. And then when I go on earthquake Twitter, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Earthquake bot is silent.
But I frequently will come to bed, Janie having gone to bed before me, and I will open up the door and she'll wake up and go, earthquake? I'm like, no, there was no earthquake.
Wait. The other day.
Or you'll text me from the other room.
The other day, I say earthquake, and then you're like, nope. So wait, the other day, the dishwasher was on, and the house vibrated, and I was like, what if it's the fucking dishwasher this whole time? It's been the dish.
Wait, what do you mean the house vibrated?
It felt like the dishwasher was on.
Where were you in relation?
I was sitting on the couch right there.
And you could feel the vibration of the dishwasher?
I told you I had the second sight.
That's not the what? Now you can feel.
I can feel that.
Appliance vibrations, and that's the second sight?
I have like a sensitive instrument. Like I'm like
you are
finely,
a sensitive instrument.
I am
That's
like
right.
a finely attuned.
You're my little tuning fork.
He's like, Paul, it is a little crazy because like the bed, I'm like Princess and the Pea with the bed. Like I can't have a wrinkle in this. Like I'm like, it's got to be military. That's because I think because I have this like this gift.
What has happened? You so quickly adopted this idea of your supernatural abilities.
I didn't know what it was until now. And now I'm starting to really know myself. Here's the thing. Okay, The Shining. Mm-hmm. One of my, I think top 3. Like it's like one of my favorite movies ever made. Like I'm obsessed with The Shining.
We've never watched it together. We never have.
But then I made you watch that documentary, and you were so mad at me about it.
We both bailed on that, though. You didn't watch the rest of it.
No, I watched the whole thing.
Did you watch the whole thing?
I was like waiting.
Room 222, or whatever the fuck it was called.
Yeah, like I was like so excited. I know we've talked about The Shining on here before, so I shouldn't bring it up again.
It's okay. It's like the 5th character.
I love Kubrick. I love Lolita. You're listening to some podcasts about Lolita and you're liking it.
Yes, it's very good.
Not the movie, the novel.
The novel. Well, it's everything. It's Lolita in pop culture. So it's the novel, it's the movie adaptations. It's there were a couple like Broadway, a couple theater adaptations of it.
Such a fun story.
Apparently, a lot of people think so.
No way.
Which is why the podcast was necessary.
Yeah. I mean, listen, okay. So I didn't know. I know I've said this. I feel like I'm saying the same things I've said on a previous episode. I'm having like a deja vu. Like I don't have anything new. It's the second sight. It's the second conversation. I have the gift of the second identical conversation. Just like because I didn't know Peter Sellers was an asshole,
right?
So like I was a fan, and it's like everyone you like becomes problematic.
That is
in some
unfortunately largely true.
I mean, it's okay. So right now I like Zendaya, and like she seems great and perfect, but she's like 24,
right?
So like. Who's to say, like, in 15 years, she's not going to say something wrong?
Maybe or maybe not.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but she might.
Because cancel culture has gone too far.
In what? How so?
We're already canceling Zendaya in 14 years.
That's you! That's your example. Cancel culture has gone too far. I'm ready to cancel Zendaya.
I'm not canceling Zendaya.
I'm ready to put it in my calendar 15 years from now.
No one touch Zendaya. I will
Leave
fucking cut.
Zendaya alone.
I will cut you.
Zendaya is me.
I will cut your face.
God damn.
Listen, here's the deal. So I guess like Peter Sellers, he didn't like do anything illegal. He wasn't like...
He just seemed to be an unpleasant person.
He seemed to be like a fucking handful. And he seemed to be like someone like even Blake Edwards maybe was like, no, I don't think I need to do another thing with him or something.
Yeah.
You know, like I mean, they were like friends, and I mean, or maybe he was not that way. I'm just saying, like, it was like you had to be in the mood. If you're like, okay, we want you to do like another Peter Sellers. You're like,
sorry, I'm not in the mood to do a Peter Sellers movie.
Blake Edwards had to be like, okay, I really gotta I gotta work my dick up for this.
You're crazy tonight. You're off the rails.
And then like he didn't do that last one with him or something. Because like,
well, I think he died. I think Peter Sellers died. Is why.
Stop it.
Yeah, they were working on another Pink Panther movie, and then Peter Sellers died, so they had some footage of him that they used. They kind of cobbled a movie together.
Okay, this is sounding vaguely familiar.
And then they tried to make one with a new actor, and I don't think that it did well.
But the new actor was after he died. It wasn't because It wasn't because like Peter Sellers was like, I'm being
no.
Crazy.
It was after he died.
Okay. Well, whatever. My point is, before I understood anything about anything, like Peter Sellers in that movie, I thought was like amazing. Mm-hmm. Okay. I just didn't know. I'm not taking away.
In Lolita.
Yeah. I'm not like trying to take away from his comedic presence on screen by pointing out that he was a personality. He was
undeniably talented. He was apparently, by many accounts, not a very pleasant person in real life.
No, like he was kind of like a jerk or something.
Yeah.
He was maybe like troubled or something.
Mm-hmm. Maybe. I think that's generous.
But, yeah. So then I was like, ugh, why did I have to learn that? You know what I mean? Because I love Lolita so much.
Yeah.
But I like Shining more. But like, of my Kubricks.
Do you think you like The Shining because Peter Sellers isn't in it?
No. I just think The Shining is like kind of like a cinematic masterpiece. Like it hits every note.
Right.
There's nothing like there's nothing in that movie that doesn't propel the mood of what it's going for through your like visceral body.
Yes, agreed. I think it's a very effective movie. Do you know what I haven't seen in a long, long time and was just brought up on Election Profit Makers, our friend's podcast, is 2001: A Space Odyssey, also by Stanley Kubrick.
Oh, yeah. We should watch that.
We should watch that. I haven't seen that probably since I was in my teens or something.
Uh-huh.
So I could stand to watch that again. I bet I'd appreciate it more. I remember not being that into it at the time, but I bet I would be more into it now.
I think for me, like I was listening to it. I mean, I'm not like, none of my favorite movies are space movies. Like I'm not like someone that's like, oh my gosh, this was it. Star Wars is it, or that was it, or whatever. Like that's just not my...
You loved Jupiter Ascending.
I don't even know what that movie is.
I don't even know if I got the title right.
I will watch those.
I almost said Drops of Jupiter.
I will watch those space movies though. Like I'll watch them. I give them a chance. But they don't resonate. I understand like the whole alienation thing. Like I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What about you?
I hear you. I mean, I think that it's a genre that borrows from itself so much. You know what I mean? And I think there are a few templates for it that it all feels like a lot of those movies will go back to a certain handful of wells again and again. But what about, I would like to see, I feel like, and somebody said this, I think it was Dave Reese said this on Election Profit Makers, that there's an aspect of that you could get if you were to set a movie at sea.
Sure.
Like, which honestly to me would be more interesting.
Excuse me. I think I was the one who was raving about, what's her name?
Shailene Woodley.
Shailene Woodley in that
what was the name of the movie?
I don't know, but like
Boat Trip?
No. I'm sorry, it was based on a true story. I went and saw it at the theater with my friend Samantha, and I was like crying.
You loved that movie.
I like went banana. Like I was like, oh my God. First of all, Shailene Woodley. So it's about this woman. It's a true story. It's about this woman who, it's about I guess like a shipwreck. It's like a storm knocked this boat off of its course.
Right.
They were like asked, her and her boyfriend were like asked to take this boat, like this rich person's boat, from some rich person place to America, to like San Diego. Like to sail from like whatever islands. Some islands, like tropical, far away ones.
Right.
Okay.
Far away ones. Not close islands.
Like they spoke a different language, I think, even on the islands.
Okay. I mean, I took you at your word that the islands were far.
And then this storm like hobbled their boat.
Right.
And knocked. I don't want to say any more because it's like they do like a crazy.
It's an adventure story. I know. You told me the whole thing.
I did. I told him the whole thing. I was like,
which
oh my God.
asked. Yeah.
I was like, this happened, and then this happened. I like enjoyed Shailene Woodley in it because she was like, so athletic and like,
which you kind of have to be to
sail,
to crew a boat,
to
right?
Sail,
yeah, to sail like that.
Yeah, and and like the story of the real woman, and it was like, I think if I'm not mistaken, it was one of those things where like at the end they show the real person.
Right.
And then you're like, oh my God, like that really happened to her. God.
Where were you, God?
And this it happened like, I want to say in the 80s or 90s. So it wasn't like they could just like pull out their cell phone and be like, we're here.
But that was a specific movie that was a true story about this person having to overcome. You know, it wasn't about like existential.
It wasn't
dread
about like
or
the
despair
alienation
or
of being on the ocean.
Yeah,
it wasn't like Old Man in the Sea or something.
Right.
You know,
which I think I saw that movie on TV when I was a kid.
Are you kidding? They played that movie like ad
it felt like it
nauseum
was
in the 70s. Are you kidding? Like it was like so boring whenever it came on. I'd be like, come on, like please go back to Electric Company. Ugh.
If I wanted to see, a guy out of the ocean, I'd watch The Incredible Mr. Limpet.
That and Orca.
Orca. I remember Orca was on a lot.
Played Orca. Like, I guess they had like licensed to like 3 movies.
It's a Bo Derek movie.
Oh, it
Orca.
is?
Remember she was in that.
Did you know that her and John Corbett finally got married?
Aww.
This year?
How long have they been together?
Like 17 years.
Jesus. Why bother at that point?
Apparently.
Did Sony's insurance run out?
Well,
hey, Bo, I was just on the web portal, and I'm not eligible this year.
No way John Corbett is the one who's not. He's got all those like reruns of things.
That is true. He should have some zids coming in.
Some zids. Wait, I think like she didn't want to get married.
Right, because she had been married before.
Yeah.
She also like that guy John Derek seemed like such a creep, right?
Wait,
like,
I don't know she was.
John Derek. She was married to John Derek, and John Derek was this guy who collected these models that all looked like Bo Derek, and like he was like
a playboy.
A Svengali to them.
Ew.
Yeah.
She has like now I want to read like a celebrity memoir.
She's got to have a book out there. She has to.
I don't know. She's not so out there.
Not
like,
now, but she probably wrote one years ago.
I'm going to look it up because that is
right. You should look it up.
That is right up my alley. I want to hear all about.
That's what I'm telling you.
Piece of shit, dude. Okay.
But yeah, I remember seeing something about them, and because Linda Evans was another John Derek protege or whatever.
Well, what happened to this John Derek guy, and what was his deal? Like, was he like a director or something?
I don't know. I don't remember. He might have been a photographer. I don't know, but he was some dude that
I guarantee you he played
had a type.
He played guitar and made them listen to him play guitar.
I don't think back then. I don't think that's what dudes did. Dudes like that did. They were like rich and handsome, and
Okay,
that was it. I think he probably preyed on younger women.
I'll do a deep dive.
I have no doubt that
I'm
you
gonna
will
find out because that is some bullshit.
And then we'll finally cancel John Derek.
Well, okay, so like if you're out on the sea, well, I feel like I'm trying to think of other like sea movies like that. The Perfect Storm was based on like some book. I thought I liked the visual effects in The Perfect Storm.
Yes. Yeah. I remember those gigantic waves was very effective. Yeah.
Which they also have even better in the Shailene Woodley.
Even better. I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah. I like those movies a little. I like anything down on Earth because guess what? I'm never going to space. Even if someone was like, "You won a free da-da-da," like I'm not.
You wouldn't go to the moon?
No, hell no.
Really? Why not?
Why?
I think it would be an incredible experience.
I understand, and I know like you are willing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't feel like I would be able to experience it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I would feel so fearful and in my head about the experience of not just flying, but flying outside of the atmosphere.
Well,
that would mess me up.
That I understand. As opposed to, I don't know, it seems boring.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just
no,
saying,
but the fear, I could definitely understand because I would be. I feel like if the opportunity were presented to me, I imagine I would say yes, but I would still think, there's a lot of
crazy about it.
It
would make me upset.
Yeah, absolutely.
To even have you do it, like I would be. I don't like it.
You felt weird about me doing drunk history.
I did not like that. That's not what you're supposed to do. You're not supposed to poison yourself to the brink where there has to be a nurse present.
Quote unquote nurse.
Yeah, right. I was like, okay. Well, anyway, I just feel like I understand like the desire for some people. Like everyone has like their thing, right? Like some people, they're like, I want to climb Mount Everest. Mm-hmm. Or some people are like, I want to hike the Appalachian Trail. Mm-hmm. Or some people, whatever. Like they have their thing. Like, or they're like, I want to sail around the world.
Yeah.
You know, it's just that space has never really been like in that category of things for me.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I guess me too, to a certain extent, because I don't have anything like that I am actively pursuing. Like if somebody said to me, would you like to go into space? I would say yes, but it's not like I've been working on trying to make that happen.
Yeah. Like it's like, yeah. I understand. I just feel like I would not. I mean, I guess I would have to make that decision if it were presented to me. Because then it's a different story, right? Because it becomes an actual decision.
Exactly.
Not just like,
It's all hypothetical now.
It's all hypothetical now. But if it like really happened, Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like, well, I'm also like, I grew up,
You grew up on the moon, so you're like...
No, unfortunately, I was going to say I grew up when the Challenger happened when I was in school.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a great documentary series on Netflix about the Challenger.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just, I don't know. Like, I think I'm ruined. I'm like a ruined Gen Xer. Like, I don't, like, that's done for, like, that's, that hope and dream of that is tainted. Because I'm like, of my generation. Don't you think?
Before the Challenger exploded, do you think?
I think I would have grown up with a different attitude about it just in general. But like, I already know like everything goes to shit. Like I grew up knowing everything goes to shit. And that's just like how it is, Do you think we made another Gen X with 2020?
Made another Gen X?
Yes.
What do you mean? Like we've replicated our generation?
Yes.
Because of what? Because of COVID?
Because of 2020, yeah.
So are you talking about babies being born now? Or are you talking about...
I guess I'm talking more like...
people that are coming of age
Of
now?
age. Of age.
And what makes you say that? What are the correlations between our generation and
that like you can't have anything good. Like reality bites. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
It's like our generation grew up with that kind of like doom, like the Cold War and the whole like, the economy tanking and the 80s, like the trickle down stuff, AIDS being ignored. I don't know. Like we just like, we grew up with like a real kind of, there was no optimism. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like like being like Gen Xers, we knew not to ever think anything good would happen. And so we're sarcastic and cynical and kind of like realistic and practical.
I mean, yeah, there's definitely something to us being like a post Watergate generation where you were getting all the truths about the people that run things, that they are as corrupt as you think, and then they will be excused every time.
Yes.
And there's no true justice.
Jesus Christ. I think that like it's possible that whatever like kids are experiencing this time are going to have a similar sensibility to our generation, because it's not all like Instagram followers and fucking roses, like, you know what I'm saying? Like there's like anguish and there's real like suffering. And I think it's like a fun generation for us to have under us, because we can like relate to this. These next ones. What are they? Gen Z or what?
The Zoomers?
The Zoom Zooms?
I think the Zoom Zooms. I believe people have made parallels between Gen X and Zoomers, or at least that there's an understanding, like that there's a compatibility.
Yes, that's what I think.
Yeah,
that's what I think. Yeah. I'm like into it a little. It's kind of, I mean, I'm sorry for them, because we're so like, our generation is so cynical. Like we have a real kind of like, of course it's not going to work out. Like, you know what I mean? But on the other hand, it feels good not to be alone in it. Right? Because it's like, because like, I don't really relate to the one above or below me, the boomers or the millennials, so well. And so like, I like that there's one coming around the corner.
Maybe they'll be the ones to take care of us.
They're not going to take care of us.
Oh,
no one's going to take care
Zoomers,
of us.
Please.
No, here's the truth.
Zooms.
You're born alone, you die alone. You're born alone, you die alone, you go through this world alone, and so you better learn to love your fucking self because that's the only person you can rely on.
You're really laying down the law.
Also, like, I know, like, I don't have kids or whatever.
I don't either, by the way.
Thank God. That's not something I'm going to learn about in 10 years.
Wouldn't that be
Some
fucking
adult
weird?
Show up on
I
my
know. Wouldn't that be so weird?
I would find it exciting and tragic at the same time.
Yeah. It would fulfill my dream of being the father of a grown-up child.
Here's the thing. I'm like, because I did sort of like go through a period where I was like, oh, I should have a kid because he's going to take care of me. And guess what? No, you can't count on that. No, you can't have a kid. Like, it's not like I have a farm and I'm like, I got to pop one out to, harvest the corn or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is like a different.
You could also have a kid, but by counting on your child as
you're already burdening them
as your plan to take care of you and your dotage, it's like you have to maintain that relationship for decades to stay on their good side.
Well, also, like,
I just can't. It couldn't be me.
I was like, my kid is like, no way my kid would not be like in jail or something. Like, I just feel like it would be like, like
no way my kid would not be in jail.
I just know, like, I would end up with some kid that was like fun.
Why do you say that?
I just think the kid would be fun, but I like would have problems.
How many people in jail right now do you think are fun?
I bet a lot of them are fun.
What do you think the percentage is?
10%.
I really.
Why can't you be fun and be in jail? Martha Stewart went to jail.
I was saying.
She's having fun in this
I think the idea of her is more fun than she probably is. I could be wrong.
I disagree. I feel like she's having fun.
That's not being fun, though.
If I read her estate right now,
Martin Shkreli was having fun.
Oh my God, we did not discuss the Martin Shkreli stuff.
Well, because that journalist is a friend of ours.
Is it?
No.
Oh. Jesus Christ.
I know everyone thinks it's curious and we've remained silent on this issue, but
we remain silent on the Tom Cruise dust up. We remain silent on the Martin Shkreli dust up. We remain silent on the
because we were both terrified to pronounce his name.
We remain silent on the Hilaria Baldwin dust up.
See.
We remained silent on I don't know what other dust ups. A lot of dust ups.
The Versus series?
Well, my friend Jen Kirkman this week waded into something online, and I did not remain silent. I said a couple tweets, but then I was like, why am I talking to these bullies?
Exactly. Well, guess what?
Like
now they're going to be talking to you if they hear this.
They don't know I exist. I guarantee you.
Oh, we'll see.
No, they don't. But I was like, the problem is they were like bullies to Jen, and Jen like actually takes on bullies. Like she doesn't.
Yes.
Do the whole like.
Right.
I don't know. I don't think you exist. Like she pulls him out. She pulls him up by the collar. She holds him up, says something in their face, and then drops him on the ground, and then thinks it's over, and then they bully worse.
We should probably wrap it up. Do you have recommendations this week?
Oh, okay. That was the end of that.
Well, I'm looking at the clock.
I don't know. I wasn't ready to recommend, so I have to think about it because I was not there yet. But like, why don't you?
Do you want me to go first?
Yes, I would like for you to go first.
And then you have all the luxury of time to think of your recommendations.
Yeah, I'm just going to think about it.
Exactly. I want to recommend. Did we watch a movie recently that we liked? We did, didn't we?
Well, I kind of liked The Prom, but like
I will say The Prom really surprised me.
I got some clapbacks for that online.
The Prom was not. Is it The Prom or just Prom? What is it called?
It's called The Prom, and like people apparently did not like it.
Yes, it was not without its flaws. But I will say that it was way different than the idea I had of it in my head. And it did surprise me, and I found it more entertaining than I expected.
Yeah, I didn't really know anything about it other than like I saw like a Thanksgiving Day parade last year where they did a number from it.
Yes.
And I
Yes,
was
yes,
like,
yes.
oh, that's cute. Like teenagers, blah, blah, blah.
But we saw something else that afterwards we were like, that was really good. And I feel like it was relatively recent. That it was a new thing that...
Was it Mangrove? I liked Mangrove.
What's Mangrove? Oh, yes. The small part of the Small Axe series of films. Yes. I liked the first two, Mangrove, and what was the second one?
Okay, people loved the second one. I didn't fully get into the second one.
You weren't on board with like the slice of life aspect of it.
That's just not my jam.
Yeah. You like more of a linear story.
I need a story. I need
like a plot to grab onto.
Yeah. I like, it doesn't move me emotionally just to see a slice of life for like 2 hours.
Right.
That said, I'm not knocking it for people who do that.
Right.
Oh, I know what it is that you're thinking of. I know exactly what it is that you're thinking of.
I can't wait.
We rented the In-Laws.
Yes. I think that is
because
what
I had never seen the In-Laws, and just to make a long story short, someone asked me if I knew of what my favorite spit take was. And I was like, and then my other friend chimed in and sent this amazing Alan Arkin spit take in, I guess it was the second one.
Big Trouble, I think it was called. Yes.
And it was like...
Which we should watch that as well.
Yeah. And so you were like, oh, that's... because I showed it to you, and we were like, it was so good.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, yeah, I guess I did another one of those after the In-Laws. And I was like, well, I'd never seen either of these movies. Like, I didn't have any reference point for them at all. Mm-hmm. And so we rented the In-Laws, and it was like so fun. First of all, Alan Arkin.
They're both amazing.
It's amazing.
Alan Arkin, Peter Falk. They go back and forth being the straight man.
Yes.
They're both hilarious. It's a really, really funny movie.
And then I was like, I want you and Scott Aukerman to play these parts so bad. I was like, so like planning it out in my mind. Because I wanted Scott to play the Alan Arkin part, and I want you to play the Peter Falk part, but I want you to play the Peter Falk part, like kind of like as a comedy Bang Bang character. Like I have it all in my mind. Like I know.
Ooh, okay. You know. I look forward to reading your treatment.
But I was just so like charmed by them. And I love that Alan Arkin was like, he had like this amazing combination of seething rage and kind of like mixed. What was I saying? Like it was like rage mixed with like annoyance, kind of, that was just so chef's kiss. Like I don't even know what to say.
It's incredible.
He's like,
The In-Laws, you can rent it online. It's really great. It's really, really great. Absolutely. The pacing of it is incredible. Like the way it builds is so good. It's great. I want to recommend a podcast called Liletta and Marina.
Oh, are you listening? Because I listened to one episode.
I just started listening today.
It's one of our friend of ours.
Our friend Holly Crosby is co-hosting this podcast, and it's about two women who are friends, and it's a woman who is dating her friend's ex-husband.
Yes, and they're totally like, the whole premise of it is that they've forged this sort of special friendship out of the most like awkward and sometimes fraught circumstances. Yeah. But they've kind of seamlessly blended their families together.
Yeah.
And
it's really enjoyable.
Like,
they have a handful of episodes out now. But Liletta and Marina, a divorce podcast with strings attached, is the full title of it. And I am absolutely on board. I finally listened to the first episode today. It started coming out a few months ago, I think, so I'm behind. But it's I think it's terrific, and I'm so happy for Holly. This is her first podcast that she's ever hosted.
And she has a long career in producing.
Yeah, she's a television producer. She's an amazing colleague. I've gotten to work with her a few times, and she's great. And this is but it's fun to hear her personality on this thing. Like, to hear this person that I know and that it's being shared with other people is very exciting.
That's really cool.
So that's my recommendations for this week.
Okay, that's good. I'm not recommending because I kind of hijacked your in-laws.
No, honey, we can do a co-recommendation.
Well, because I sort of
in
the one that remembered
together.
it. I
remembered
it.
But I was having trouble, and you got there for me.
Well, I appreciate it.
But the Small Axe series directed by Steve McQueen.
I want to watch more of those.
Mangrove and Lovers Rock are the first two.
People
that
love
we've watched.
Lovers Rock maybe even more than Mangrove, but that's not where I fall on it.
No, I don't fall that way either. I really appreciated Lovers Rock as, we're going to show you this house party. We're going to put you there. This is what it's like. So it's like a lot of, people listening to and dancing to songs in real time, and the different routines that people would do. If when you think back to your high school dances or whatever, there were certain songs where people always did this, like that kind of thing. There's a lot of that in it that I appreciated as a sort of like a time capsule of saying this is what this scene was like.
This scene, which is like a scene that I didn't even know about.
Exactly.
Like in London and in the 70s.
It's an extremely specific scene.
Yeah, yeah.
And I thought it was really cool. But we're going to watch more of them.
Oh, for sure. He's amazing. Steve McQueen.
Steve McQueen.
Yeah.
Anything else, or should we?
I guess that's it. I mean, is it midnight?
It feels like 2 a.m.
It feels like this episode is 3 hours long.
I know, but it's not. It's one of our shorter ones.
It is?
Yeah.
Well, Happy New Year, everyone.
Well, Happy New Year,
Happy
everyone.
Fucking New Year.
Is this what you wanted? You got it.
Season 2 starts with a goddamn whimper.
Well, we'll be back next week.
Yeah, I guess we will.
We're stayfhomekins on Twitter and Instagram, stayfhomekins@gmail.com if you want to write to us. Thank you to everybody for sticking with us.
Shout out to essential workers, which we've done
fucking A.
before. Here's an underrated essential worker are truck drivers. People who are keeping the supply chain going.
Yeah.
Especially now, we're trying to do this vaccine rollout. These are people that are keeping us supplied with food and goods, and
these are the
now
people that don't show up at your door, but they're out there doing stuff.
They're out there keeping it up, and because we talk a lot about delivery workers and store workers and healthcare workers, but there's a whole sort of hidden side that I want to think
they are the bridge,
and because so the vaccine rollout's been a mess. My brother got his vaccine. He works in a hospital system. So he got his first vaccine. My dad and stepmom, they got their first dose of vaccine. They live in West Virginia, and my dad is 80. He turned 80 in July, and so they opened it up to 80 and over. So the government opened, to 80 and over there.
Do you think Jesco got
I don't know how old Jesco is.
Is he still alive?
I thought we looked him up last time, and he was.
I don't remember. I just remember we saw that he threatened his wife with murder many times, which I didn't recall.
Listen, I'm just saying, this whole thing has been hard, and they botched the rollout. They promised that 20 million of us would be vaccinated by now.
So far, it's 10.
No, it's under 2. It's under 2 million. Did you know that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I didn't know that specifically, but of course.
Oh, yeah. It's only been under 2 million.
I meant literally 10 people.
Oh, I thought you meant under 10 million.
No.
Well, my point is people who are working to get the vaccine into our arms, that is, you're doing, you're leading us out. You're leading us into the light.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
And people who worked prior to that, like the smarties, but now we're talking about the grunt work part of figuring out where to go, what to
The
do.
manual part of it, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Like, it's just as important. It's just as important as having a PhD in whatever.
I feel like it sounds like we're saying those people aren't smart.
In vaccinology.
Look, smart people have done their job. Now it's up to everyone else.
Rest
You know
of
what I'm
us.
saying?
Listen, I didn't mean to make it sound like
I
that.
know you didn't.
But I did make it sound like that, and I didn't mean it like that. What I meant, like, is everyone has a role to play.
Exactly. And we appreciate it. All right. We'll be back next week.
Season 2, episode 2. Don't miss it. What's going to happen next week?
More of the same. Until then, stay safe, stay sane, and stay home.